Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the BenQ Challenger Cup today on GT Sport. We have had some qualifiers here today to get our final 28 that will try and battle it out to make it into the final, which will be in 2 weeks' time, or well, 13 days' time on a Saturday, to go and battle it up against some of the best drivers in the world. I am joined, of course, by Mr. Bubblebart. How you doing, buddy?
How do you think I'm doing? It's the BenQ Challenger Cup. I'm ready. I'm excited. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm just really excited about this. We've picked a very, very tough track for all of these drivers, so it should prove to be very interesting. We had some very close qualifying times as well as we were watching Bubble. And have you got any particular favourites before we go through them all?
It's hard to mention any favorites. What I noticed is that because of the qualifiers, as soon as people were in the top 7, they were taking it easy. So I'm guessing these drivers will be surprised by each other when they really start pushing here in the semifinals. So favorites, no, not yet, but I'll come back to that.
Absolutely. Well, this is the BenQ Challenger Cup, and well, we have got a competition structure for you just to show exactly what has gone on. We had 60 drivers sign up, and then there were 4 quarterfinals of 15 drivers. You'll see that people being people don't check in for things, so we had a little bit less than the 60 drivers, but the top 7 from each of those quarterfinals advanced to what we're about to watch, the semi-finals, which is going to be 20 laps of Goodwood Motor Track. So the top 5 from those 2 semi-finals will advance to the final, which they will indeed race against 4 of our pro drivers from 2 of the biggest teams in sim racing. We've got James Bolden from Veloce Esports. We have got Tom Lartalou, who is also from Veloce Esports. We have got Coque Lopez, who is from Williams Esports, and then we have got Giorgio Mangano, who is also from Williams Esports. But not only that, they've got a chance to win some unbelievable prizes as well. And the 4 drivers you're seeing on screen right about now, they cannot win. So they're there for exhibitional reasons only. The prizes are on offer for the drivers you will see today. So first position will win a VIP tour provided by Williams Esports and BenQ Europe, including an experiencing a trip to the Williams Racing HQ and a travel package to London. Then second place will receive a BenQ EX350 1R curved sim racing monitor plus a souvenir from Veloce Esports. And third will receive a BenQ EX320 3R curved sim racing monitor plus a souvenir from Williams Esports. But not only that, you guys at home, if you would like to get yourself the cutting edge equipment within sim racing, then go and head to BenQ's website. Type hashtag BenQ in my Twitch chat right now. A link will pop up and you get to see what they have on offer. I use the monitors myself. They are absolutely exceptional. They are top of the range. So again, hashtag BenQ in the chat and click the link and go and have a look at what they do have to offer. Anyway, let's check out, I think we're going to have a little look at potentially the lobby results from the quarterfinals then. So, quarterfinal 1, we had Kenny Hansen, we had ERM Post, we had Crash Muffin, we had Joaquin F1, ERT Legner, Pizza Parker 24, and Geese 90 advancing through to the semi-finals, with Tazio TM, Luke Metcalf, Devilmere, and Nikolainen unfortunately not advancing to the next part of the qualifying process. Quarterfinal number 2 then. We had Jomas 74, we had CV, Picamboe, trying to pronounce some of these names is an absolute nightmare. TCE Tia, we had Ivy Ivan, Ali, Jiminel, T Care Bear. They all advanced through to the semi-finals. Then we have Manu Damas, we have Morigar, and Hans Fan, unfortunately not going through. Into quarter-final number 3, we had MNT ATT 27G, we had ERT Stevie, Popsu, we had Weller 1983, we had Captain Starlin, we had Faithless Emo, Yosoy El Portu. They were the qualifiers for the semi-finals. Then we had Swagger Stag, Borneo 7, and GT Racer not going through. In the next one, when we had ERM Nico RD, RC Afo, we had CV Paradar GT, CTR Christian Kawa, TRL Perpy, VRG Cram 75, and then we had Meerkat going through. ERT Hansa, Ryan Cooper, and GT Racer not qualifying for the next round. Right, we're going to look at semi-final number 1 then. They are out on track, but let's check out who is in semi-final number 1 in the list of unbelievable talent that we have going on right about now. So that is quarter-final lobby results number 1, unfortunately. Oh, no, there it is. Sorry, we've got it. We've got ERM Post then, T Care Bear. We've got Jomas 74, who's definitely one of the favourites to win this whole thing. He is super pace, and of course, he has been in the World Finals for GT Sport. ERM Nico RD, Crash Muffin Finn. We've got Kenny 3390, VRG Cram 75, MNT ATT 27G. What a name that is. Ivy Ivan 10, ERT Olegna. We have got Faithless Emo. We've got Ale 2293, Yo Soy El Portu, and then we have got CV Parada GT. Well, I think it's about time we head out onto circuit and see these drivers in action. We are in qualifying right about now. So let's get out on there and, well, get involved in what we have to offer then. So we're going to do some livery slides here, and I'm going to let Bubblebart introduce you to our drivers.
Well, that's nice of you to let me struggle with these names for a change. So we got ERM Post. His real name apparently is Post, and he's from Spain. I love to hear you struggling, but now I'm the one going to be struggling here. We got the T Care Bear L96B. His name is Matt Slaney, from the United Kingdom. It's always hard to come up with a good nickname, but there's some hard ones in here. We've got Jomas 74 from France. Well, it's going to be exciting for him if he's going to be staying in the race, because he's having some power issues at his home. So he just joined right at the death of the start of qualifying. ERM Nico RD, Nicolas Romero from Spain. We also have him here. He's a very fast driver. We've got Crash Muffin Finn. I'm not even going to. Well, I'm going to try. Veikko Tormanen from Finland. Was that correct? I don't know. We've got Kenny, 3390, Kenny Hansen from Denmark. That's a name I can pronounce, Kenny Hansen. Then we got VRG, Cram 75, Mark Lozano from Spain. We've got a lot of Spanish drivers here today. Apparently, BenQ is very popular in Spain. We've got MNT ATT, 27G, Sylvain Gauthier from France. Then we got Ivy Ivan 10. His name is Ivan, also from Spain. You see, that's a name I like. Ivan. That's easy to pronounce.
Don't even have a surname. It's a fair play to him.
Then we got ERT Olegna. He's from my country, the Netherlands. Also a very fast driver. We saw him in the quarterfinals. He impressed me. Then we got the Faithless Emo without a name from the United Kingdom. And then we got L2293 from Italy. And here we go. This is where we're going to be struggling. This is Yo Soy El Portu. He's not from Portugal. He's from Spain. His name is Javier. Then we got CEAV Parada GT from Spain.
There you go.
That's the drivers.
There you go. That is all of our drivers. And now let's head out onto track here. You can see that we have got Kenny, 3390, currently on pole position here. And his lap time is a 1:12.886. We've seen a couple of times a little bit quicker than that, maybe by a couple of tenths. But with this many people out on this circuit, it's a very, very short circuit indeed. And actually, we will go for a track guide between the two semi-finals as well. So after race number 1. They got 20 laps of this Goodwood circuit. No tyre wear, no fuel degradation. It is a proper sprint event here today, so we should see some proper action. And well, judging by the qualifiers, there is some super close times, Bubble, and we're already seeing it right now. We get the live timings up on screen for you here, and well, we have got, well, it's what, 1.4 seconds separating the top 12 as it currently stands, and they have still got, what, 5 minutes left of qualifying. So very, very exciting here indeed. 4 minutes 55 seconds to go, and I'm expecting times to tumble even further, Bubble.
Oh yeah, well, we did see in the quarterfinals that we saw sometimes 113.0. We were very impressed, and then we saw 112.9, 112.8, and at some point people started pushing in 112.7s and 112.6. But the question is, with this extra amount of pressure on it, will they be able to put in the same amount of laps?
Well, there's your
The
answer.
same kind of lap?
MNT
Yeah,
said,
there it
well, no, you don't know what you're talking about, my friend, because I'm putting a 1:12.6 in straight off the bat. Great work there by the Frenchman. Where's Jomas here? So Jomas, he's not in the lobby, so he's had power issues. And for me, he was the favourite going into this. He was the quickest out of everybody and consistent as well. And unfortunately, he is no longer going to be taking part in this competition. He's had power issues due to the weather where he is living, and I'm really sad to see that. He's been brilliant all day. He's been getting involved with people in the chat and almost helping us here with the logistics of the competition.
Yeah.
But to see him go out like this, it's such a shame because, you know, not only have we got the 4 pro drivers coming up in 2 weeks' time, you know, some of these drivers like Jomas, like MNT, they're quick enough to probably challenge those 4 as well.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him go head to head with the 4 pro drivers. But yeah, sometimes it's just not meant to be, and it's issues like that. But just like in a real race, you're gonna have technical issues. You're gonna have some unfortunate events that are gonna prevent you from racing. But that's life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Same as in real life racing. If you have an engine problem or you have an electrical issue with your car, indeed it will take you out of the race or out of the competition, whatever you're involved in. And again, you know, technical issues are exactly the same when it comes to online racing, just a whole different breed of them. MNT then is still on pole position here, and he has still, well, he's got a 1:12.698. But look at this, Kenny, only 0.04 of a second in behind him here.
Wow.
Unbelievable here from the Danish driver. CV Paradar GT is only 1.5 tenths behind him as well. We've got ERT Elegna then in P4, who's a further 1.5 tenths behind. ERM Nico then just only a tenth in behind here, although he's got Kenny in behind him here. So actually, I think Kenny potentially, well actually no, he's going to lose a load of time there going into the final couple of corners. I think the slipstream may have helped him, but it's not quite worked out, unfortunately. With only 2 minutes 30 seconds to go, I think he's just a little bit too close here. He's probably trying to get the slipstream effect, but you know, it's not the best way, unfortunately. It's going to hamper you more than anything around a circuit such as this.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't talk about the track that much already, but it is a very, very weird track to be. You don't know whether you want to be slipstreaming or you want to have clean air, because the corners here are just so tricky, and so you basically need all of the downforce. So if you will be slipstreaming on any straight here, you almost guaranteed to miss the corner. So yeah, it's weird. We saw in the quarterfinals, we saw a lot of guys really close to each other when qualifying, and we were asking, what are they doing? Like, why are they not looking for that free air? But apparently these guys know how to handle these cars under low downforce.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, bringing up the track like you just did there, it's a very unorthodox circuit here at Goodwood. It's not many like 90-degree corners that you would see at normal circuits or hairpins or anything like that. It's basically an oval, but with loads of knuckle turns. So you've just got to make sure that you enter the entrance to an apex is absolutely spot on, so you can maximise the speed on the exit. But the only orthodox part is this chicane right here, and that is as narrow as they come. So yeah, if one person makes a mistake, everybody's going to make a mistake through there. So it's very interesting.
I'm not going to be surprised if we end up having a pile up there, because if one of the front runners makes a mistake, you basically have nowhere to go, and only thing you can do is slam the brakes or steer into the wall.
Absolutely. Oh, well, look at this. Paradar GT then has done a 1:12.883. He's gone a little bit quicker, hasn't improved on his time or his position on track here. Kenny's still in second by 0.04 of a second. It is super, super close right now. Let's get a time screen up for you so you can see all of the times. And, well, MNT leads the way then with a 1:13.73. Well, sorry, so that's his last lap. It's a 1:12.698, a 1:12.7, 1:12.8, 1:13.0, 1:13.0, 1:13.1, 1:13.2. It is super, super close. It is now a second separating those 12 drivers. Very, very exciting stuff here. They've got 20 laps, Bubble. You know, only the top 5 go through in the lobby so tight as it is right now. Qualifying position is absolutely key, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's even more reason to look forward to this race, which is actually going to start in, I guess, 10 seconds after, well, we have another minute of qualifying after that. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. We saw in the quarterfinals, people were taking it easy once they were in the qualifying spot. But basically, with this amount of strength on the grid, I think even if you're in third position, you still have to worry about keeping that place because people will be in your rearview mirror.
Undoubtedly there. It's a hell of a level of driver here in this lobby. We've got obviously the chance to race against 4 of the biggest pros in sim racing in the final in a couple of weeks' time, but they're racing against pros right now. Like, the level is just ridiculous here. It's great to see, but they also get the chance to race to get into that final to win those really ridiculous prizes that are being offered out by Williams, by BenQ, and of course Veloce. So great to have those big names on board in this championship, but it is only top 5. I could pick any 5 out of these 14. I think any one of these 14 could indeed, or any 5 could go through here, and that is qualifying over then. So here we go. Here's the final here, or the semi-final, but it's our final of the BenQ Challenger Cup. They're all lining up on the grid. And quite a few Audi TTs, which is to be expected. It's quite the popular choice when it went to, of course, the qualifiers. But MNT is on pole with Kenny in second, CV Paradar GT in third. Nico is in P4, Olegna P5, Ale is in P6, ERM Post in P7, and Crash Muffin is in P8. We've got 3 seconds to go. Lights are about to go green. And here we go, semi-final, number 1 of the BenQ Challenger Cup. And there's a McLaren there making his move up from P4 on the grid. And I think that he's going to lead this race. Nico around turn 1 does get the move done. Then Kenny up to second. MNT down from first into third position. Paradar GT then is in P4. Post is in P5. Ale then is side by side here. It is TT versus TT. And ERT Olegna then having the outside line. Not going to quite get the move done then. So Ale will take P6. Olegna P7. They got Crash Muffin right in behind here. Faithless Emo is in P9. Bit of curb there taken by Crash Muffin. Well, he leaves the door wide open, but Emo not able to slip up the inside there. We have got Cram. Cram is in, well, 8th position. Ale is off the circuit then. He comes back on very dangerously indeed here. And Yo Soy El Porto is going to get slowed down by that. And that is not what we want to see after such a great start by everyone else. Ale there's made a huge error.
I have to say, my mouth was still full open by that start of Nico RD. How did he do that?
It was absolutely phenomenal there. The McLaren having a fantastic start here. Looks like it's got a little bit of extra boost with that vehicle. It is balance of performance on here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. No tyre wear, no fuel. It is a pure sprint for 20 laps. They all go through the chicane here. Anyone going to go and die through here? No, they're not. T Care Bear there is in the Toyota. I'll tell you what, for 14 drivers as close as they are on such a circuit as we are on right now, it is super close. We check out then the front 4 here. CV Paradar GT is in P4. And actually, ERM Post then has made a nice little gap here of half a second to the Finnish driver of Crash Muffin. So oh, there's a big action in the background here, and that is Ivan's. Ivan's got a move done on Faithless Emo, and he's up into P8 here, side by side there between Ale and Faithless Emo as well. And I think Ale's going to go up the inside. So Faithless Emo losing 2 positions there from a small mistake. Oh, a snake there by Ale. Not good at all, and he has had a very indifferent start to his semi-final here, Bubble. He needs to just settle down. He's got 20 laps here. He needs to just settle down. He qualified P7, so he's definitely got the pace to be up and in amongst the top guys, but yeah, very strange start from the young man.
Well, he will absolutely have a code brown in that car by that save. Did you see the oversteer and the snapback on that car? But yeah, it's like you say, you have to just tell yourself to calm down and finish the rest of the race. Like, it's only 2 laps in, and you still have 18 laps to go. It's very easy to get frustrated by these kind of events and let it destroy your whole race. But yeah, these drivers will show us that they are able to do so.
Well, we're seeing Faithless Emo here taking full advantage here of Ale not feeling the best. He's going to squeeze Ale onto the apex. Ale runs out a little bit wide there. Ooh, that is very naughty indeed there by Ale. And we're seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly here in this race. That Ale is turning out to be the pantomime villain here. Let's go on board then with P5, who is currently ERM Post then. So he's in P5. He's got in behind him Crash Muffin from Finland. So this is the bubble right now. Top 5 do indeed qualify for our final, which is in 13 days' time. So it's on Saturday, the 12th of October. Paradar GT then is in P4, 3/10 behind Kenny. Kenny's in behind MNT ATT27G. What a name that is, by the way. And then Nico RD is in P1. So the front 4 separated by about a second here. But again, they've got to be a bit careful. Don't want to get too much involved in the old battling with each other, because they're going to lose a lot of time. And also, that's where there's a big tank slap by MNT, and he's hung on to that.
He held it. Another Code Brown, I guess.
Oh, Code Brown's absolutely everywhere. God, Goodwood, hashtag Cone Brown. Code Brown. But everyone's still in pretty close proximity right now. No one's falling completely off the pace here. We're going to check out where P14 is for you, just to see whether they are indeed down. Well, it's actually Yo Soy. So unfortunately, Jomas had a disconnect. It wasn't a power outage, but I'm sure the power outage must have had something to do with it. But Yo Soy then is in P13, and he is right 4.6 seconds off T Care Bear right now. T Care Bear is 1.6 seconds behind Faithless Emo. Faithless Emo is now, well, he's actually very close here. He's got a half a second penalty here, and actually he's going to make a move up the inside of Ivan. So Ivan must have had a slowdown penalty himself there. So Faithless Emo back up into P10. ERT Olegna then is in behind Ale here. So Ale, both in the same livery as well. Very original, these drivers. Thanks for helping us out. We're actually going to stay on board with this for a little bit here, going down towards the final sector here on lap number 4 of 20. We've got 2 races for you this evening as well. We've got semi-final number 2. Again, we're going to try and find the top 5 from both lobbies to go through to the final, which is in a couple of weeks' time, where they battle out for the prizes and, of course, for bragging rights against some of the best in the world. You can see they're up through the chicane here. They're going to be side by side. Ale not giving any room, and Ale holds on, and they're both silly there. They've lost a lot of time to the guys in front, and well, one of them needed to yield there. They didn't. They've got through. Faithless Emo there with a penalty, but it looks like Alegna and Ale have got away from that with no penalty, but that was very dodgy indeed. Up towards the top 5 once again, and Post, I keep saying Prost here, Post, 0.7 of a second ahead of Crash Muffin, 1.1 second ahead, behind Parada GT. Not a bad position to be in. 0.6 is quite a big margin here, Bubble, and being the last position that qualifies for our final, it's something he can manage.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking, it's basically the ideal situation for P1 to P4, to have a little bit of a buffer with a single driver there who will be fighting, which will only create the gap, like make the gap even bigger. So Crash Muffin, he would basically want for Post to be closer, so he will be attacking and losing time there. So, but Post has free air now, so he will have full capability of defending for this position here. So he doesn't have to attack, he only has to look in his rearview mirrors to defend this position for, well, only 16 laps, 15 laps now.
Yeah, but if you look in front here, the front 4 are so close that the race actually might come to him in the end as well here. So, of course, they run side by side. They're not going to be taking the optimum line around this circuit here. So there's every opportunity that we could see Post catch back up here. But look at this, Kenny, right in behind MNT. MNT did qualify in pole, and actually they're right in behind Nico RD. So, well, you could cover these guys with a loincloth. It's that close at this point. But it is 6 drivers here battling out for the top 5. They've got a nice gap then to VRG Cram 75. So we're still on board with this for a little while. I still want to check out the actually, Ale is no longer in P8, so Ale's down to P9. And where's Alegna? He's moved up to P8, so he's got the move done here. So he's finally got the move done, and now he is one of the very quickest in the world here. So can he chase down VRG Cram? Could we see him go from P8 up into P5? It's going to be a very tall ask for the ERT driver, but do not put it past him. That is for certain. Let's go back up to the leaders then. And again, the top 3 separated by absolutely nothing here. The lead is what? About 0.5 of a second through the chicane here. They're going through like a train at this point, and running that close to someone, that's where a mistake's going to happen here. You know, through the chicane is like the hardest part of the circuit. When you're in the top 4, you've got not much room behind you to P5. Might be worth just taking a step off to a couple of tenths a lap here. Just make a little gap for yourself within this group. Not battle too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you say, as soon as you're driving this close to anyone, if you're following other cars, and then especially through a chicane that's so narrow, everyone just tells you you have to look at the track instead of the driver in front of you, because you will be doing exactly the same as the driver in front of you. But it's so hard to not pay attention to the driver in front of you. You have to be watching him for the braking points, for where is he steering him, where does he get open, where I can start the overtake. But it's just so hard on such a narrow part of the circuit. And then as soon as it opens up, you're basically free to run your own lines. But if you're this close together, it's hard racing. And I'm expecting these top 4 to not even start attacking each other. Well, as I say that, P1 and P2 are now fighting. They're side by side. They're going to be side by side.
Oh, wow, yes, they are going to go through side by side. And it's actually a change of the lead. And MNT back up to the lead from pole position on the grid here. We're on board with ERM Post. And I said this exactly what's going to happen here. Those guys in front battling, it's going to bring the race to him. But let's check out where Crash Muffin is. So he's dropped off the pace ever so slightly. Look how close they are. Kenny, all of a sudden under some serious pressure here. And actually, he's going to go down into P4. We've got CV here, who is in behind. And now all of a sudden, there we go. Post is going to make it up into potentially P4. Side by side with Kenny there. Kenny squeezes him onto the apex. The Danish driver, I think he's going to run out of legs here. He's got the outside line. There's a flash of lights there. Almost to say, do you know what? You go through. I think that's clever play there by Kenny. I think he's let him go through with a flash of lights to say, do you know what, mate? We're costing each other too much time here. There's a car right up our hoops at this point. You know, we don't want to be costing ourselves a potential chance into the final. But how interesting is this, Bubble? We have got, what, 12 laps remaining of this race, and the top 6 are separated by absolutely nothing.
Well, this is the dream. You have a top 5 that qualifies. You have 6 cars battling for it. So, and then for them being this close, this is exactly what you would want to see. If it were a top 5 breaking away from the others, it would just be a boring race. All of these guys would be, yeah, we qualified. Just stay on track and finish the race, and that's it. But now these guys are actually battling. If you are in P5. You would give it everything to be in P4 so you don't run the risk of being overtaken.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a little bit more of insurance there being in P4. Of course, Kenny is on the bubble right now. Crash Muffin in P6 closing up the gap. He's right on the back of his tail here. But we've got to look here at VRG Kram and Olegna. So those two, Olegna now is caught up by 1.5 seconds to Kram as well. So Olegna is on the charge, ladies and gentlemen. We could potentially see him. And by the looks of the stream, he's a pretty stream frame for it here as well. But he is closing that gap very, very quickly indeed with, what, 11, nearly 12 laps to go in this race. I would not put it past him. And if the front 6 keep battling like this, Bart, they're going to slow each other down. Every reason to suggest this could potentially become an 8-way battle for the lead here.
Oh, I'm licking my fingers. I'm ready for this. But yeah, it's like you said, Olegna is one of the fast drivers, and actually in the quarterfinals, I was spectating that race. He basically already practiced this exact scenario. He had a
wow, here are in post! Sideways through the chicane! Is he going to save it? No, he's not, and there we go. So this is going to give Kram the opportunity to go through, and I think you're going to see Olegna as well. He's going to have the momentum here. Will he be able to get the move done into turn number 1? Not going to quite be quick enough. I think Post is going to be able to defend it.
Yeah, he will.
No, he won't. So there we go. Olegna squeezes him out there before the apex of turn 1.
Wow.
And Post did that all on his own there. Just got a little bit too much curb, lost the car completely. And, well, that could potentially be game over for him moving forward in this competition. Crash Muffin now moves up into that qualifying position, and he's right in behind Kenny here. The front 3, though, separated by very little indeed. And now they finally can see in their rearview mirror, there's a little bit of insurance here now, Bubble, where they can now just relax a little bit and just try and, well, I say gallop to the line, but you know how quick these drivers are driving it behind them. I don't think they've got any amount of non-pressure happening whatsoever.
Well, you say relax, and the only thing I can think is when I'm in such a race and I see a driver that I look up to, a driver that is faster than me, that's better than me, and I see him crash, that's not relaxing.
No, absolutely not.
That's no braking.
Scary times there, and yeah, again, we're seeing in the chat, how the hell has someone not been collected by that? It's quite ridiculous there, and he almost saved it. Yeah. And, you know, he's obviously lost a lot of time here, but now all of a sudden, we have got VRG Kram, and again, I'm going to go...
Oh, he just did the same.
Oh, yeah, he's off. Well, that's going to give Olegna here a little bit of breathing room because he was under a lot of pressure from Post. So now Olegna can get back into the, I'm going to catch the rest of this pack looking here. We're going to go and look from bumper view, see how close it is visually. Not too far behind 6th position. We're going to go on board now with Kram as well. And Kram is, what, 2.5 seconds. So if Olegna wants to get through here, he's got to close down 5 seconds in what would be about 9.5 laps here. It's going to be a very tough order to do. We'll actually look at this. Kenny in under pressure here from Crash Muffin, although he's got a nice little bit of a break here as well. But Crash Muffin doesn't really need to attack now. He can manage this race. He's obviously quick enough to be in this position. It's all about managing the race now. Again, there's no prizes today. It's just getting into that final in 2 weeks' time. Paradart GT then in P3. And interesting here, Bubble. we're looking at Nico. Is he going to make a move if the opportunity presents itself? He knows that he has to finish in top 5. It would be clever for him just to, yeah, do you know what? Second, good enough. Don't need to put any pressure on us both here. His teammates already made a mistake. We've seen that with Post, unfortunately, down in P8 now. You know, what mentality is he going to have here? Or is he one of those sim races that we see so very often where there's just no off button?
Yeah, but it's also like as soon as the opportunity presents itself to do an overtake, it's just in your blood, it's in your system to go for that gap and do the overtake. It doesn't even matter if you told yourself, okay, take it easy, just follow, don't overtake. If the gap opens, you will go for it. That's a racing driver's blood. There's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely not. You are correct indeed in that statement. You know, but MNT, we know he's got outright race, well, not race pace, we know he's got outright raw pace. He did qualify pole position here today. He finds himself in first position after going down to 3rd spot. And it's Nico and Paradar GT then in P3. In P4 then is Kenny, who's actually a little bit off the pace now. And actually got Crash Muffin then in P5. Cram not really closing the gap here at all. But Alegna is closing the gap. Not quite quick enough for me.
Oh, yes.
Not quite quick enough for me to really challenge for that P5. But we've seen mistakes happen. And actually, I think we just saw Crash Muffin really slow then. Actually, now he can visually see P5 up ahead of him. So Alegna could be, well, I think he's on a charge here. He's 1.8 seconds behind. Pretty good exit out of the chicane, although Cram is absolutely smashed out of there. Faithless Emo then is in P8, and he's got a 0.3 of a second. I don't think he's in this race now unless people make a mistake here. So it's Alegna for me, Cram, who are going to try and catch up to the pack here and try and catch up to Crash Muffin, the Finnish driver, who really has fallen off the wagon here ever so slightly. Cram, though, 2.5 seconds behind him. So, again, I think he's doing what we said here, Bubble. I think he's just decided, you know what? I am going to just stay in 5th position, not make any stupid mistakes, and just get myself to that final.
Well, as you say that, I see him taking a lot of curb and even being on the grass on the entrance of a curb, well, an entrance of a corner. That's exactly the stuff that I wouldn't do if.
Oh wow, hold the phone here because we've got a battle here for 2nd position. Nico's now under pressure here from Paradar GT, the CEAVI driver. And no, he can't. So Paradar GT has just decided, you know what, I'm going to get back into the slipstream here. And he's playing a clever game here. He's putting the pressure on. I think if it opens up for him, he's going to take that opportunity. But I just think they have to realise they've got some of the very best behind them still here. Doesn't matter how they've got to that position behind them. They are behind them, and they are very fast indeed. So you do not want to be either causing a crash where you lose 3 or 4 seconds, because that is it. You're not in that top 5. Or indeed, you do not want to be slowing each other down lap after lap here. But then maybe to Paradar GT, Nico's just going maybe half a second slower a lap, and he feels like, do you know what, if I get ahead of him here, I'm all good, and I can really guarantee myself a passage through to that final.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not only yourself that you put on the line there. If you start the overtake, it's also the other driver. It's all about having the nerves to make that move and to take the risk. Also take the risk for the other person, because you can destroy both your races. But yeah, it's when you're racing this close, it's unavoidable. You're gonna go for the gap, and if you, it's also an honor thing. Basically, it's a pride thing. You want to say you won the semifinals and not being 2nd or 3rd.
Well, you know you've got to race against these again. They know that once they've done this semi-final, they've got to race against them next in 2 weeks' time. In 2 whole different scenarios, by the way. The races will be announced tomorrow on the website. But if you can get one over your competitors now, it puts in the back of their head, oh, they're quicker than me, before they even start the final next week. So, or in 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, there's a lot of that, a lot of mind games, as you've put there quite adequately, until I completely butchered it and nearly died with a cough. Kenny then still in P4, Paradar GT in P3. This is not a safe passage through as they're going around right now. Of course, they are clearly in P1, 2, 3, and 4, but yeah, they've got just like nose to tail. This is not how you want to qualify. You know, of course, MNT would like to be 5 seconds clear right now. Have no one in his rear view mirror, but he's got 3 cars in his rear view mirror. He's got a McLaren and 2 Audi Audi TT R8s. That's a funny looking R8. Audi TTs there. So yeah, I think these 4 are going to be pretty much guaranteed through here. But I got to look at Alegna here. Then let's go bumper view, and he's closing the gap. 5 laps to go here. If he can get PG Cram very quickly I think he could potentially catch up to Crash Muffin, and then there's the opportunity. He's on the brakes a lot earlier here to try and get a better apex through the second right-hander up towards the chicane here. It's all about the exit. He's braking a lot earlier than a VRG Cram, and he's reaping the rewards right now, but he has to get this done as quickly as possible, because this will not be enough for him to qualify for our final in a couple of weeks' time, and he damn well knows that. And I'll tell you what, Cram is on the absolute limit with that car in front, and Olegna is going to pounce like a panther, I think.
Oh yes, I've been watching him for the last 2 laps. I see him absolutely.
Oh, here we go!
So there we go!
There we go! Up the inside! Oh, Cram left the door wide open. He could have crammed it shut, but he didn't decide to do that. And well, I think maybe he thinks, do you know what, I'm going to get the slipstream here, and I could potentially catch up the Crash Muffin myself and make it a 3-way battle for the top 5. We've got drama here, Bubble, between these 3 drivers. It's going to be either Crash Muffin from Finland, ERT Olegna, or even VRG Cram then, who will potentially go through to our final. Crash Muffin's got a nice advantage of 1.7 seconds here, but Olegna is on the charge. They're going to start lap number 17. So 4 laps remaining here, and I just want to see this time go down. We'll stay on these for at least a lap, then we may head to the leaders, and let's just see over the next lap how much he can bring that time down. If he can get a couple... Oh, there's a mistake in front here. Oh, it's 7/10 of a second. Well, Crash Muffin has given us the drama we wanted. It is Olegna versus Crash Muffin versus Cram, and wow, now this is for the final qualifying position here. Olegna has been given a gift. Will he unwrap this present, or will he throw it back in their face? Well, there we go. He's trying to find a gap up the inside. Not quite worked out. Crash Muffin then has closed that door, and well, Cram's done the perfect job here by letting Olegna go through. He's able to stay in that slipstream and indeed close the gap. Who's going to get the result here, Bubble?
Well, this is absolutely exactly what you would want as being Olegna.
Well, there we go. Sorry, I've cut you off once again. Olegna's got the move done. He's been involved in all sorts of... Oh, there's a big action there between Cram and Crash Muffin, and Cram's followed him through here. It's not all done for Olegna. You can now talk, Bubble. I'm sorry for keep cutting you off, but this is unbelievable.
I love it when you get excited. That's why I watch all of your streams. This is this is the racing you would want to see. No, yeah, it's Olegna. He played it smart. He was in the slipstream position to just wait for the mistake to be made, and it came.
That was absolutely exceptional there. Do you know what the worst thing about this is? I completely forgot about the replay function during all of that. I'm that excited. I'm like a child at bloody Christmas, guys. Oh, man. Crash Muffin then is now down into P6, and Olegna's like this. He's been working his arse off all race to get himself in this position, and now he's just going to do a Speedy Gonzalez and just run away as fast as he can. Fair play.
Yeah.
Front 4 then separated by absolutely nothing, and well, you know, if these guys do get involved with each other, a little bit of a tangle maybe, there's every reason to suggest that the guys in behind may get gifted a position. And so, you know, we've seen it happen with Post as well. Post making that mistake when he was running 3rd. So there is still scope for these drivers to make a mistake.
Oh, absolutely. And I was just thinking, this is also the hard part of racing. Olegna has been pushing that car now for 8-9 laps, pushing it absolutely to the limit. And now he has to just calm down a bit, because any mistake he will make now will cost him the qualifying position.
You could tell how, well, you're absolutely right, but you can tell how strong Slipstream is around here because, of course, these 4 are snaking around the track to break it, but it's not done here. Olegna has got Crash Muffin then right up in behind him here. Slipstream is huge on Gran Turismo Sport, as we know. See the track there widens up before we come up towards the second to last corner before we come into the chicane here, and Crash Muffin wants that spot. The hard work has been done by Olegna.
We have a change for the lead.
We do have a change for the lead here. So there we go. Nico has made a move up ahead of MNT ATT. Kenny is still in 3rd then, and Paradar is in 4th position. So there is the change for you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, these 4 are pretty much guaranteed to go through. I want to keep an eye on this bubble position. Actually, it doesn't matter because it looks like Olegna's got himself a nice little gap there. And, well, look at this. I tell you what, MNT is running the risk here if he puts too much pressure on that McLaren in front of him of potentially having a crash here and losing out completely. And I think that Paradar GT in P4 has decided, you know what, I don't need to get involved in this. I'm happy just to go through. Although he's now all of a sudden closed up. So I don't know what's going on.
Paradar GT just made a decision in P4. I'm just going to watch this race instead of participating in it.
Oh, man, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. This is why I don't race. This is why I commentate, because I'll just be in awe of this and be like, I'll be getting excited in my chair, just going, oh, my God, it's so... Oh, I'm supposed to be racing. This is ridiculous stuff. Again, up towards that final chicane. We're going to start the final lap. Oh, it's a mistake by Nico then. So he runs off circuit there. Maybe a potential slowdown. Not too sure how far he did indeed run off, but actually he's got a very good exit out of the chicane here. Let's go just check on Alegna very, very quickly then, and how close in behind. 1.4 seconds. He is golden here then, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got another race to go here today. This is absolutely phenomenal stuff right about now. It's been race-long battling here. I'm so glad that Goodwood was the track choice for this. Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Oh, Cram made the mistake. He's off track.
Cram has made a mistake in P7, so he's off the circuit there. So it's not looking likely he's going to be able to put the charge on late in this race. It's MNT though, still in second spot, 0.2 of a second down. He was on pole position, went down to third position after the start. Very poor start here. Post actually got up into the lead. He led the race for about 14 laps, and then at the end here, Nico, well, he's shown his ability, he's shown his class, he's shown his sim racing talent here at Goodwood for semi-final number 1 of the BenQ Challenger Cup. We're on board here with MNTT here, trying to put the pressure back on to try and get that lead. Of course, they do want to get the victory here at the death, but I think Nico's pretty much done enough here. Round the final corner before the chicane here, and it is going to be a win then for the Spaniard and ERM team. Nico RD picks up the victory. In second position then will be MNT ATT27G. Kenny is going to finish in third position. Then from Denmark, we've got Paradar GT who's going to take fourth position, and our final qualifier for the final of the BenQ Challenger Cup is going to be ERT Alegna with one of the very best drives I've ever seen. Unfortunate at the start of the race. How unfortunate he was, but to drive like that back through the pack shows absolute balls there.
Oh, absolutely. If this would have a driver of the day vote, he will get my vote. Absolutely.
Yep.
That was
Do you know what?
Phenomenal drive.
Let's have an unofficial driver of the day vote. Whoever your driver of the day was, type it in the chat. Just type their name in the chat. Absolutely incredible scenes here. Crash Muffin did so well, but unfortunately just succumbed to the pressure of Alegna. Cram 75 then will finish in 7th. Faithless Emo in P8. Post, who was in that top 5 position, has unfortunately failed here and got into P9 after 2 spins. Very unfortunate. Definitely had the pace. We've got Ivan finishing in P10. T Care Bear in P10. Beware of the bear. Yo Soy El Portu in P12, and that is all of our drivers who did indeed finish this race. Congratulations to the 5 drivers at the top, but especially congratulations to ERM Nico RD with an unbelievable performance. A race where it wasn't very simple, it was pressure just from start to finish. So it looks like we've got Alegna. Kenny's got a driver of the day vote there, but it's just definitely Alegna, that is for sure. Alegna absolutely smashing it to pieces, gets up into P5. So there we go then, Bubble. I think we're going to head off then for 10 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen, while we set up the second lobby. Go get yourself some drinks. Go get yourself some snacks. Make sure you go and tell your friends about this stream. Go and retweet on Twitter at Actrollvision. Go and make sure as many people are watching this as possible. But yeah, we're going to be back in 10 minutes for semi-final number 2. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the BenQ Challenger Cup. And I am still joined by Mr. Bart Ramekers. What a first race that was.
Well, the countdown was a little bit too short, that break, because I still need to catch my breath. That was amazing to watch.
See, I'm quite the opposite. I just want to throw right back into it, get ourselves involved with the next race. I get super, super excited about these events. I'm the biggest nerd there is. So for any of you who've just tuned in, this is what the BenQ competition structure is. We've had 60 drivers, 15 in each lobby in the quarterfinals. The top 7 qualified for this stage of the competition. We are now in the semi-finals stage of the competition. We've just had semi-final number 1. Top 5 of each semi-final go through to our final, which is in 13 days on October the 12th, and they get to race against 4 of the very best drivers in the world. So let's check out who those drivers are. Well, we have got James Baldwin from Veloce Esports. He is the E-Rock World Champion. He's won the Le Mans Esports as well. He is an unbelievable driver, and also he drives for Alfa Romeo in the F1 Esports. We've got Tom Lartalou then, who has won the A1 Esports Austria, came second at the SMSR Championships, and also he managed to get a first position in the manufacturers at the last World Tour event. We've got Coque Lopez for Williams Esports then. He is a GT Sport World Tour Nürburgring P2 overall, and then we've got Giorgio Mangano there, who is one of the very, very best in the world. You can see all the accolades on the screen right about there. 4th place at the 2nd FIA GT World Tour in 2019. 5th place at the FIA GT World Tour of 2019. And he's a champion at the 1st FIA GT Sport World Tour. So he is a huge talent here. And look how young they are as well. Makes me absolutely sick.
Yeah.
Sick, I tell you.
Yeah, makes you feel old, that's it.
It does indeed. BenQ then have made this all possible, so thank you very much to them for putting on a competition for these GT Sport talents here in collaboration with Actrollvision Community Racing. And if you want to get yourself involved with some of the best equipment you can use in terms of monitors when it comes to sim racing, then type the word #BenQ in the chat. Links will pop up, and again, get yourselves involved then. And so next week, or 2 weeks' time, when we do indeed get to the final, they are all battling out for prizes then. The first position, and that's not the pro drivers, so the pro drivers, the 4 that we just mentioned, cannot win these prizes. They are there for exhibition reasons only, but first place will win a VIP tour provided by Williams Esports and BenQ Europe, including an experiencing a trip to Williams Racing HQ and a travel package to London. Second will win a BenQ EX350 1R curved sim racing monitor plus a souvenir from Veloce Esports, and then third position will win a BenQ EX320 3R curved sim racing monitor plus a souvenir from Williams Esports. Again, #BenQ in the chat, and go and check out the options they have there available. Everybody who's taken part in this competition will indeed get themselves a voucher, a discount voucher for the BenQ store. Right. It's time now to go and check out this Goodwood circuit. They are out on circuit doing qualifying. They're just doing our outlaps now. But let's do a little track guide with Bubblebart behind the wheel of the BenQ safety car.
Yeah, so you call it the BenQ safety car, but I rather call it the unsafety car. Like it's uncontrollable, but it was a nice thing to have on screen. What I discovered in this track, it's a very particular track. It's wide at a lot of points, but the corners are tricky. They look like little kinks in the track, but they aren't really just kinks. So, and this first corner, it has 2 or 3 apexes. Maybe you have to like really steer in. You're tempted to brake early for this corner, but it's not really necessary, because at this point you can already go full throttle and go to the first straight. But there's a little kink in the road there. As you see, I went to the right a little bit on track, but I got surprised by the little turn in. It's just a little bit of a kink. It's full throttle, but you're tempted to be overtaking to start overtaking there. And then this is the tricky part. If you touch the curbs here, you will end up in the grass, and basically your car is uncontrollable here. So this is where we saw in the first race, and also in the quarterfinals we saw some people go off. This is where the track is on its narrowest. There's no overtaking here. but then it just opens up, and you have a really weird kink at the end of this straight, where you're also tempted to be overtaking, but because of it's a mini chicane, the track narrows down a lot, so you will be on the grass here.
Yeah, well, that is, it's a very narrow circuit, like you said. Well, come up towards this final chicane. Sorry, Bubble, I'll let you finish. I just saw a change of position at the front end of the grid. Sorry, carry on.
Okay. No, the last chicane. This is where we're going to be seeing the mistakes made, as we saw in the first race. Even the pro drivers will make the mistake and touch the wall there. It's just a very hard circuit. Have you raced here before in the game?
I have done a couple of laps here. There's a reason why I'm a commentator, Bubble.
Yeah, me too.
So there you have it then. That is Goodwood Motor Circuit. We're seeing the BenQ vehicle go around there. Now let's head back out onto track here where we see they are in qualifying. So all good in the hood here. So there we have it. We've got Joaquin F1 then currently on pole position here. In second spot by what? Just under 0.2 of a second, Peak Mbiwa. Peak Mbawe. Hopefully I'm not butchering that name. He is in P2, and then Christian Kawa is in P3. But I'll give you a little secret here. Peak Mbawe was 0.2 of a second up on his previous time, and then he made a mistake for the chicane, and he's done it again here. Not good at all. And well, we can see here Meerkat making an overtake in qualifying, which is prohibited in the rules of this competition. So that could be looked at here in deep. Let's look at the player info of Joaquin then. It's at a 1 minute 12.8. So very similar times to the first semi-final here, Bubble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's at some point you start hitting the limits of these cars on this track, and that's when the times get really close, and you basically expect those times to be driven by the pro drivers. But then it's the question of, can you handle the nerves? Can you put in those fast qualification laps that you have been doing in practice? Are you able to perform on the same level when you're under this much pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be said about performing under pressure. The least said about it, the better at this point here.
Yeah.
I perform under pressure. Got a baby coming on Wednesday. Proof. Joaquin F1 then still on the pole position here, 1.5 tenths, just over a second clear here of Peak Mbawe. And CTR Christian Kawa then in P3. And then we got Williams driver here. Williams Jim Popsu. So he actually drives for Williams. So he's going to try and get to the final here and go up against again Giorgio. I'm terrible at pronouncing names here today, and Koke. So yeah, he's going to look forward to go through here. He's currently in P4, needs to get in the top 5, so not too bad. Weller, by the way, in P5 here, just in behind Popsu, so a very good qualifying from Weller. Had a very indifferent qualifying session in the quarterfinals. He struggled to really make the times here. Luckily, only 7 turned up for it out of the 11 in the lobby, so he managed to go through just because of that. But then he's shown a bit of, I think he may have just gone away from it and gone, do you know what, I need to be better here. And he's put a load of laps in, got the practice down, and looking very quick indeed.
By the way, shall we have a look at what drivers are in this race?
Yes.
And what countries they're from?
Absolutely.
Let's put them on screen then. Well, it's my turn to... Oh, that's the wrong... I need to reset that. That's the wrong lobby that I was presenting. So here we go. We got CEAV Peak Mbawe. Yeah, I would also have no idea how to pronounce that correctly. We're probably butchering it.
Let us know in the chat if we're right, guys.
Then we have another nice Spanish name, Joaquin F1, also from Spain. So a lot of Spanish drivers in this competition. TCE Tilla 22, Jesus Gallego, also from Spain. And then we have Meerkat 2016. Well, I guess that's not his birth year. From the United Kingdom.
Imagine if it was his birth year. 3 years old.
Then we got Pizza Parker. Oh, now I'm hungry. From the United Kingdom. Then we got from France, RC Atho.
Who's just taken pole, by the way. He's now on pole position here as well by 0.06 of a second. He's the first one into the 1 minute 12.7s.
Then we got Paul Weller, also known as Weller 1983 from the United Kingdom. And then the Danish driver Jiminel, Damien from Denmark. We got Geese or Geese. I don't know. It's apparently it's also his real name, from Australia. We're gonna be making any upside down driving jokes here. CTR Christian Cava, Christian Fernandez from Spain again. Then we got ERT Stevie from the United Kingdom. And there he is, the Polish driver, Popsu Patryk Adamczyk.
He is good at every single game he puts his hands to. His ridiculous talent is Popsu.
Then we got TRL Perpi, Fernando Perpignan. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but I guess he wasn't able to race today, right?
No, he's not here.
Yeah. So then we got Captain Stalin from the United Kingdom.
There we go. That is all of our drivers then in semi-final number 2. If this is half the race at semi-final, what number 1 was, we're still going to be struggling to have voices by the end of this. RC Atho in the Alfa Romeo here has put it on provisional pole right now, and that is going to be his qualifying over. He's not going to go any quicker here. Joaquin is already in the pits here, so he is done for. We're going to go on board then with Christian. Where's Christian? Christian's not quite finished his lap here. Well, actually, we've got 1 minute 14 seconds to go, so they can finish these laps then and see whether they can indeed improve in a time. Pika Bawe then currently in P4. He's done. Popsu is also done by the looks of things. He's flashing his lights. Weller, where is Weller? Is Weller still on the quick one? No, he's not. So it's only Christian Kawa, I think, who can potentially improve on his time. And he's actually going pretty damn slowly here across the line. I don't think it's going to be an improvement. He's in behind Geese. But he is going to be P3, and that is one of the top 5 positions. Of course, you want to be in the top 5. Top 5 do indeed qualify for our final in 13 days' time. That'll be at 7 p.m. BST on Saturday, the 12th of October. Be 2 races. There'll be a feat. I'm going to give it away now. Why not? It's going to be a feature race of 24 laps in the GR3s around Maggiore. And that will be like ×3 tyre wear and ×3 fuel usage as well. All sorts of different changes to that one. And then we're going to have a reverse championship order grid of 16 laps around Sardinia C circuit. So there's going to be 2 big races, but the reverse grid is going to be very interesting indeed. Now 14 driver final. How you all doing in the chat? Get yourselves involved. Say hello. Who do you think is going to get the victory in this race here? Say these events are nothing without people like you watching at home. You've been a very good audience so far. I'm reading loads of the positive comments. And again, hopefully you enjoy the content we put on here. RC Atho then is your pole sitter here. The Frenchman has got a great result here. And he only put 1 real good lap time in as well, so fair play to him to be up in that position. He's in that Alfa Romeo as well. Very surprising car to be up the front here, considering the Audi TT-age everywhere. We've got Joaquin in 2nd. We've got Christian Kawa in 3rd. 4th then Pika Bawe. Popsu is in P5. That is your qualifying positions right now. But then Weller is in P6. Is he going to pounce like a panther? We're just waiting for the lights to come on here at Goodwood Motors track here. And they go green. And yeah, well, there we go. The Alfa Romeo is absolutely flying off the line. No problem whatsoever. Look at that. What a start by Atho. Take a bloody bow. In 2nd then it's Joaquin. In 3rd is CTR Christian Kawa. In 4th then is, well, Pika Bawe, but he's got pressure here from Popsu. Popsu right up his chuff pipe here. And, well, we're watching Pika Bawe be right in behind Christian Kawa. So we could see that bottleneck up as the race goes on. We've got Popsu then in P5. P6 then TCE Tia. In P7, we've got ERT Stevie. Captain Stalin P8. Weller is down to P9 and after qualifying P6. So not a great start hit for him at all here. Jiminel in P10. Peter Parker P11. Geese is in P12 and Meerkat is in P4. Let's head back up then towards the top 5 here. You can see Popsu then is made a nice little run here. The top 5 have got a little bit of a gap here. Bit of a move here by Stevie. Stevie trying to find a gap here on TCE Tia as they come down in towards the final part of lap number 1. You can see he's actually alongside him here. Just about got his nose, actually not quite close enough. Filters back in for the slipstream and he's going to open up the final right-hander here as best as he possibly can. And actually just really goes quite slowly there, but you can see he's on the brakes a bit earlier there, taking what I like to call now the Elegna line. Brakes a little bit earlier, gets a bit on the power a little bit quicker on the exit. But you can see how close everyone is. Captain Stalin in the Ferrari makes a big mistake there, and he's going to lose a couple of positions. But at the end of lap number 1, it is RC Atho in P1, Joaquin P2, Christian Kawa in P3, Pika Bawe in P4, and in the final qualifying position, it is Popsu.
That was just an amazing start in the Alfa Romeo. I know it's a quick little nimble car, and it's just a genuinely nice car to drive. It really reacts well, but I didn't know it had like a booster start. That was amazing.
That was absolutely phenomenal. He's got the cheat codes out for the place. It's like the old GT, the old Gran Turismo games where you do left, left, right, right, R1, R1. Get the old cheat codes. But yeah, he's done pretty well here. Top 5 though, have made a little jaunt for it here. You can see that, well, not only that, the person in P6 has got a penalty. So he's got Stevie in behind him. He's going to have to slow down to take the penalty. There we go. He started to take it here, and actually he's going to let 2 drivers go through. He's ghosted right now, so it could be potentially Captain Starlin as well. And it is going to be the Ferrari driver moves up here, and so does Geese. Geese up into a P9 now. And Geese last time we looked was P11, so he is definitely making a charge through the field here. And as I say that, he gets a bit too much grass and he's off the circuit. Unbelievable. And actually, monkey see, monkey do. 3 drivers follow him off.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That's what I was saying last race. If you pay too much attention to the driver in front, you're going to be making the same mistakes. It's when you hear people say it, you think that it's rubbish. But I've been in that situation before. I see the guy in front of me brake too late, and then I just do the exact same thing. It's a real thing in racing.
Yeah, for sure. Nico there with a very good point in the chat there. He said, Joaquin is right behind Atho. The TT murders the 4C on the straights. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
but this is
seeing a nice little fight.
Although this is quite a quick circuit though, Bubble, but it's broken up by little niggly corners. It's not one of those circuits like Indianapolis, let's say, roadway, where, you know, you're driving a mile-long straight. So there's not that big an opportunity there's a big opportunity for slipstreaming, but not like a conventional GP circuit. So, yeah, I think Atho's done the right thing here. He's got out into a nice lead. He can manage that, and, well, he's definitely got the talent, that's for sure. But look at this. TT is closing the gap here, but then the 4C is looking very, very good on the exits of corners and just able to drive away. But the front 5 here have, well, they've just driven off on their own here, and actually a nice formation. And, you know, will they learn from the first race? Obviously, we saw Post making a big mistake in the first race, which actually cost him a top 5 because he was pushing too hard. They've got a 3-second advantage over ERT Stevie and Weller, who Weller is actually battling here for that position in the slipstream up towards turn number 1, up the inside. Stevie has to leave the room up the inside. Well, ooh. Stevie's completely turned in there on Weller, and Weller was on the apex.
There was a little bit too much room he left on the inside there.
Well, he's left the room up the inside and then turned in on Weller. I don't understand what he was ever going to achieve by that, but he's the one who's ended up on the bad side of that. Again, I could be wrong. I'd love to see a replay of that, and again, I've missed out on it, so good work by me. But it definitely looked like Weller had got the apex, and Stevie's just turned straight into him. But it is what it is. I'm sure that'll be appealed or maybe investigated as the day does indeed go on. RC Atho then still leads the way here from Joaquin F1. CTR Christian Kawa then is in P3, Pekin Bawe in P4, and Popsu is in P5. We've got some Fs in the chat. There's some big Fs in the chat. Oh, there's a mistake by RC Atho. So there we go. Joaquin has got the move done. And now, well, let's check that out for a replay, shall we? Because that is a change for the lead. So there's the mistake that he just runs out ever so slightly wide up in towards the chicane here, and Joaquin takes full advantage here as we move on to lap number 5. So is Christian Kawa now trying to put the pressure on that Aston Martin on to the Alfa Romeo? I've got so many car names in my head. It's bloody ridiculous. But they've got a nice little gap here to Christian. So although Atho's made that mistake, well, I tell you what, he's trying to make up for it here. Joaquin then is leaving the door wide open here. And actually, the Alfa Romeo driver there of Atho is being very patient here, as he should be as well. Because again, he must know that they've got a big gap to the guys behind. But look at this, he's trying to step out of that slipstream. Joaquin then leaving, well, very little room at all, if any. And actually, it's given Christian Kawa the opportunity to close the gap here. So we saw that the position in the lead did change hands in semi-final number 1. And Bubble, these guys are not letting go here either.
No, I was just thinking, why would you be doing this? Just let him have the precision. Oh, there you go. Christian even showing his nose on the inside, and he's going to go for the overtake from Atho. I just don't understand. Oh, well, I do understand. I do understand why they do this. It's the blood thing. This is where the real racer comes. Yeah. I'm lost for words here.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a two-way battle inside your head. Like, you want to go for the position, especially if it's the lead of the race. But on the other hand, you want to be careful. You want to be qualifying for the finals. But still, if the gap opens, you're going to put your nose there. That's basically how it works.
Absolutely. We're going to go bumper view here with Popsu. He's got the best seat in the house of the front 4 here. And again, you're right. When you're in a battle that is this intense, sometimes you completely forget about what's on the line here, what you can qualify for, what position you need to be in to qualify. All your focus, well, I'd say focus. Pops, who's lost a load of focus there. And I'll tell you what, look at this. Atho still trying to retain that first position, but he's actually given the opportunity for Christian Cower to close the gap. But yeah, you just forget about that. It just becomes a race. It becomes a race against you and yourself, against yourself in your head. But then you've also got the drivers around you where you've got to try and take full advantage of that. So again, to get one up on, well, look at that there. Christian Cower tried to find a little gap up the inside, and it was a great reaction by Atho. Atho went exactly the same time there, and you see that on the brakes ever so slightly earlier is Atho there to catch Christian Cower out, and that is a brilliant defending by the Alfa Romeo driver there. So Christian Cower had to react as well. It takes two to tango. It's a fair play, but this is only given the option here for Popsu to re-close the gap.
Yeah, and for Joaquin to make the gap even bigger. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he started pulling a real gap to the second and third driver now, because he doesn't have to defend now, and Atho is looking in his rearview mirror a lot. And Joaquin has proven that he is a fast driver. He's also shown in the quarterfinals. Once he gets in the lead, he is able to drive away and pull a gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all of these here on merit, of course. Just the level, the ability here. Well, as you say that, Pekan makes a big mistake there, runs wide, and Pekan left the room. So Pekan I think he must have had some sort of disconnection there, because he is gone from the lobby. That puts Weller up into P5, and now all of a sudden it becomes a really interesting battle for P5, because Tia is right in behind.
Well, I will tell you one person who's going to have a smile from ear to ear in his car right now, and that's Weller.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you someone who's going to be completely pissed off, and that is going to be Pekan. So I'm not too sure what has happened there. He's left the session, but that's the only message we got on our screen. For me, you're in a qualifying position. He's either had an equipment failure, he's either had a power outage, or indeed he's had a connection issue, which is hugely, well, it's not ideal, is it? Let's check out the chat here. Yeah, and unfortunately we still haven't received a message from them at all. So no, I'll keep an eye on the Discord chat so we can try and get confirmation as to what's happened there, ladies and gentlemen. But ultimately we've got to keep an eye on this battle here. So TCE Tia then is on the bubble here. He's not in the qualifying position right now. He's got Weller right in front of him, so he could potentially snatch it away from him. 12.5 laps to go for these drivers, and he's closing the gap here. You can see the slipstream taking huge effect. It was 9/10 of a second once Pekan left, but now it's about 7/10, and it did go down to about half a second there. So very close here. So yeah, you guys watching at home have been gifted an opportunity to watch people battle for that final qualifying position. And Bubble, as a commentator, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one of the biggest fears I have once we start commentating on a race. You're just so afraid of it being a boring race, and then you have to come up with things to commentate on. But these guys create the content for us.
Absolutely. The track choices, of course, is very good. I'm not going to tell you who was in charge of that. But yeah, a few people were like, oh, that's a bit of a weird track to choose. Well, it's proven to be great content for you guys watching at home. And it's all about people watching at home. It's having a good impression of a competition that's been put on by BenQ. They are one of the leaders in the market for sim racing monitors. And you should get involved by typing the word hashtag BenQ into the chat. Go check out what they have to offer. And I can tell you from experience, as I do use their products for all of my streaming and racing, they are absolutely exceptional, so go and get yourselves involved. All of the drivers here will indeed, who have participated, will get themselves a voucher code as well for BenQ. But don't worry about that right now, because Atho is very close between Joaquin, and I tell you what, they've got a nice gap here to P4. I think they're going to give us a show here, Bubble. You see Joaquin leading the way. It's 4/10 separated the front three here. Christian Cower is in a P3, and actually, do you know what? I'm going to be sneaky here, and I'm going to go from Christian Cower his bumper view, because this is the action we want to see. And he's going to try and go the long way round here on the Alfa Romeo, and just enough room left there. A little bit of grass on the braking, and that can really unsettle the car, completely lose the rear end. We saw that with Post in the first race here through the chicane, and you see that they are just so concentrated at this point, because right there I'm thinking they're going straight through the wall, but they're not. RC Atho then is, well, in a Audi TT sandwich right now, and I tell you what, that is a pretty damn nice filling to have.
For 1 second there, I thought Atho maybe was on a pad, because I saw him make really weird steering movements, but I guess he's still on a steering wheel, right?
Yeah, well, for the most part, these are on steering wheel. There's a few that aren't. Well, we see Coque Lopez, who's one of the pros here. He's a quite famous for being one of the very best, not only just at the game, but he's also a pad user. So I'm sure he's using the wheel now, but yeah, he got to where he is with a pad. So yeah, it's definitely accessible in that regard. You can see that Atho then is in P2. Yeah, Peak and Balway is the one who disconnected Bellin. I did mention it 4 times in the commentary. So yeah, there's your answer. We see Christian Cowan still in P3 behind RC Atho and in behind Joaquin as well. So they're all locked out here. Weller, by the way, is still in P5. But where is TCET? We're going to watch these come through the chicane first, and then we're going to get on board with TECT and see how close he is indeed here. And he's not really putting the pressure on here. So Weller has almost been gifted an opportunity here to qualify for our final. Still half the race to go, so we're going to stay on board then with Christian Cowan. And actually, you see Joaquin here, Bubble, has made a nice little run for it.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. He is able to pull a gap, but on the other hand, is it also what you would want? It's nice to be like with the 3 of you, pulling a gap with the 3 of you. Like if drivers are really close behind you, it's just like in the Tour de France, like the guys
peloton.
that stay. Yeah, exactly. As long as you're close together, you're able to pull a gap. But the most important part of that is don't start attacking each other. If you just drive behind each other, you are able to pull a gap. But if you start attacking, you're going to be losing time. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing here.
Well, yeah, of course. You know, they're experienced enough to know that Popsu is, 4 seconds behind them. They know that he's not with Weller either. Weller is on his own on track. So, again, you're right. These 3 can go quicker. I wonder whether we're going to start seeing potential overtakes with the peloton in cycling, as you have mentioned there. They swap positions, so they let someone else lead, and so they can have a little rest here. With cars, of course, they don't need a rest. They're okay. So it's the cars doing the hard work here. With the stipulations we have, where there's no tyre wear and no fuel usage at this stage of the competition, it is a complete sprint race to the end here. So I think we're just going to see these.
You say they don't need rest in the car, but I will assure you these guys are sweating in their chairs.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we saw Alegna post in the chat after his race there. Again, one of the best performances I've ever seen. He said, "I'm sweating absolute bullets." So yeah, I think you've done well though, Alegna. You've put on a hell of a show for the people watching at home. And again, let us know in the chat if you have enjoyed this. This is the first time we've produced a competition on GT Sport, so hopefully you enjoy it. So the final is going to be absolutely epic. We're going to have like a 45-minute race, feature race, where it will be 24 laps around Maggiore in the Group 3s. There'll be tyre wear, there'll be fuel usage, and then we will indeed go for a sprint race, which will be reverse championship order. So whoever who finished last in the first race will be in first position for the 16-lap sprint race in the GR4s at Sardinia C circuit. We've got Honya there spamming the 8s. If you are enjoying the channel, if you are enjoying the stream, spam those 8s in the chat. Would genuinely be appreciated, and it means that we can indeed produce more stuff for you. Christian Cowan still in P3 here. Popsu P4. Weller is in P5, and Tia still about 1.4 seconds behind. Peter Parker is in P7. He didn't have much hopes for himself in this semi-final at all, but he's done bloody well. Fair play to him. Geese.
Yeah. Still, incidents can happen in the front. He can still, like, only 2 cars have to drop out. He still will have a qualifying position.
Yeah, for sure. You're not wrong there, bud. Geese then, who indeed qualified in P12, sorry. He's up to P8, so great start by him. Captain Starling's had a pretty bog-standard race apart from a spin at the start of this race, so he's definitely someone that could have maybe done a little bit better, but he's not disgraced himself by any stretch of the imagination. Jiminel is in P10, and then we've got Meerkat in P11, and we've lost a couple of drivers from this race, unfortunately, but look at this Joaquin then. Looks like RC Atho has taken a couple of laps just to chill out ever so slightly, and now he's going to start attacking the Spaniard at the front. They've got a huge gap to P4 now, so this is now for honour. This is for the stream here. Give us the content we deserve. Put it straight to my veins. Let's see some action for P1.
Actually, it seems like Weller is struggling because right now TC Itila is closing in on him.
Oh, is he now? Okay, so let's just check that out here. So TC, 1.2 seconds. Yeah, he has gained by 0.2 of a second here. Let's check it out from Bubblebart. Let's check it out from the actual view here and see if it visibly is getting smaller. You can see that he's just slow. He is in the slipstream here, so we will just about, It's just outside the slipstream, I think, maybe by half a tenth of a second here. But
Yeah,
if he can close the gap, Weller making well, it's run completely wide there through turn 1, although he has gained a little bit of time on the exit here. So
wow.
It's still close though. Tia is still in with a shout here of that potential qualifying spot here. 6.5 laps do indeed remain of our BenQ Challenge Cup semi-finals. I cannot wait for the final. The final is going to be absolutely unbelievable. We're going to see strategy. We're going to see all sorts. We're going to put these to the test at a whole new level as well, and also bring into the mix the 4 drivers that again are some of the best in the world within GT Sport and just within sim racing in general, and also 2 of the biggest names that are in sim racing being Veloce Esports and Williams Esports. Williams, a Formula 1 team. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's great to see. And they get a chance to win some epic prizes as well in this competition. Again, a massive thank you to BenQ for putting this on for the drivers and for you all at home. And type in the chat, #BenQ, to get yourselves onto their equipment. So it's now 1.5 seconds of Weller. It's pulled out a little bit of a gap here. Although they come through the final chicane, and well, it looks like Tia has actually gained a load of that back. Although Weller is still a tenth of a second up here, so he's got a quicker lap. Let's go up to the leaders then. I want to check out RC Artho. Again, he's 0.3 of a second clear of Christian here, so they're still all 3 of these battling for position, and they've kind of filtered into 1, 2, 3, you know, being Joaquin in first, RC Artho in second, and Christian Karen third. Are they going to give us some fireworks here, Bubble, do you think?
I don't think so. Maybe Ato in the last lap will, maybe lap 18 or something. He will try to show his nose on the inside, see if Joaquin will just be the smart guy and give him the position, or
oh, there's a mistake. There's a mistake by Atho there. So Atho has made a mistake here. I think this is clever. I don't think he's got a penalty or anything there, Bubble. I think he's going to let the TT attack Joaquin and see if he can pick up the pieces. He's got nothing to lose here. He's already qualified.
Think of that.
5 laps to go, already pretty much qualified, top 5, right? No one's really that close behind. Or was it a mistake there by Christian, and actually it's going to slow down Atho here. I think. Look at that. I think Atho's going to try and tag onto the back here, Christian, and try and attack Joaquin as a twosome here. This could be very clever. Could be game breaking here. Could be championship breaking. Although I think he's now just going to do. Well, he's got to make the overtake. Christian keeps making little mistakes here, and if he backs out of this move, I think that yeah, he is going to take on the plan that we said. Is he going to back out of this position? There he is.
I didn't think of that, but that's actually pretty smart to let another driver go attack, because then you won't run the risk, and doesn't matter if you finish. Whoa, he touch off the grass there, it makes the car really unstable. But yeah, you don't run any risk if you let someone else attack. So yeah,
I think it's a mistake. If I'm honest, I think straight away RC Atho's maybe seen Christian is on the absolute limit here. He's hit the grass a few times. He's got sideways a couple of times. I think he's realised that this might not be the best position to be in here. Doesn't want to get involved in anyone's mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if he gets the opportunity, he will try and get the overtake done as soon as possible. Or he may indeed just drop off the pace ever so slightly here. But I'll tell you one person who is definitely going for the win, and that is Christian Kawa. He is looking to take on Joaquin here. He wants to not only be the best in this lobby, but he wants to represent Spain and be the #1 driver from this semi-final. Look how quick this Alpha is out of the corners, man.
Oh, mistake by TC Attila. He was closing in on Weller. He was like 0.6 of a second close, and then he just cut the grass and run right. So now the gap is 3 seconds. So I guess Weller has his qualifying position now locked in.
Definitely not ideal there. So Weller's going to be almost gifted that spot there, although he's worked hard to be in that position. He's got some bloody good drivers in this semi-final. And you can see here that the Alfa Romeo trying his absolute best here to potentially get back up into second position. And we just had a nice point made in the chat. Apparently he made some contact with Joaquin and lost a load of momentum on the straight there. Oh, wow. Don't want to be doing that there, Christian and RC Atho. Take your medicine, boys. Finish second and third. Don't push for a position at this late stage of the race, because if you do indeed get a spin, it's very difficult for you to recover.
But then again, this is the racer's blood. He saw the gap and he thought, yeah, my nose is going there.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian making a mistake there. Oh, it's gone wide. No way, they're going to go through side by side. They are going to go through side by side. Atho backs out of it. Christian makes a mistake there. Oh, wow. Atho is going to, I think, potentially go up to second. He's got the long way to go here through turn 1, and he decides to fight another day. And that's got to be a warning sign here. You do not want to be putting pressure on yourself. You do not want to lose a couple of positions with only 2 laps to go. You can't recover from it. So just take third position and move on. Although, as a commentator, crack on, boys. I'm all good with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shut up, let them do their thing. That was exciting. I'm amazed that ended well. Like side by side through a chicane that's that narrow. I wouldn't have predicted someone would actually try that.
Yeah, fair play to him. I guess the Alpha is pretty small, isn't it? So it's like a smart
Yes,
car on steroids. I tell you what, he's gone for the reverse. Well, he's gone for the whoop-de-wop there, and he's found a little gap here up the inside. Can he make a late move up the inside of Christian Kawa? Christian has to leave the room. It is a drag race, and you can see that the Alpha can only really keep up when it's in the slipstream. So the TT, of course, is a little bit quicker in a straight line, a little bit more power. So yeah, RC Alpha has to back out there. And again, they're not listening to us. They are definitely not listening to us here. They are pushing for this final. But right now it's going to be wacky in F1. CTR Christian Kawa in P2. RC Atto, what are we looking at here?
Well, Atto just clipped the wall in the chicane, so his car unsettled by touching the grass just before entering the chicane. So he had a very unfortunate angle into the chicane, but he managed to pull it straight. And but I think he's now thinking, okay, there's a lot of contact in 2 laps. Let's just finish the race and just finish in third.
Yeah, absolutely. Virtual Racing Girona. Joaquin's expected in the bar. That's why he's going so quickly there to try and get there as fast as possible. Love that. He got the lead of the race. He's very patient. He managed to get the move done on RC Atho, and he's not looked back since. He's really dominated this race. So Joaquin is going to go into the final next week, or in 2 weeks' time, sorry. And he's going to be one of the favourites, that's for sure. RC Atho then still trying to get second position. Why are you doing this to yourself? Because if, they're going to be side by side here, down in towards that chicane once again. He's got the inside line. How good is the brakes on that Alpha? We're about to find out. And here we go then. So he's going to try and give us some fireworks as Atho up the inside. There is contact. He's got it done before the chicane. That's a sensational move there. And tell you what, Christian Kawa left the room as well. But that was absolutely phenomenal from RC Atho. He shaped that up for 6 laps, Bubble, and got it done.
Well, that's what I said. It's going to be the last lap, and then he's going to overtake. But he did it just before the last lap. He went for the overtake. But again, you told this before. It takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
He left Christian Kawa left the room there and let it happen. He was okay, boy. You go in front of me. That's fine. You've been attacking me for 3 laps now. Just go and take that position.
Absolutely fantastic. Sensational stuff there from both of those drivers. Very well-deserved positions. They're going to be in the top 3. It's all about this man here, though. Joaquin F1, who was very patient in behind RC Atho, who made a sensational start here in our second semi-final. He's got a couple more corners to negotiate. You can see he's taken a lot of lap time off now just to make sure he gets to the finish line. RC Atho and Christian Kawa fighting for that position. But 1 and 2, 3 more corners to go here at Goodwood Motor Circuit. And Joaquin F1 is coming up towards the chicane here. He's going to take the checkered flag, and he's going to take passage to the BenQ Challenger Cup final. Congratulations then to Joaquin F1. The Spaniard picks up the checkered flag. RC Atho, who's put on a great show for us here, watching in the commentary box and of course at home. And Christian Kawa, take a bow, both of you. Sensational stuff. Popsu then, well, he's just quietly assassinating everyone. That sounds completely wrong. He went about his business very quietly. He's like a ninja, managed to get it done. And well, he's performed ultra well here. He qualified P6, managed to get that top 5. Tia just kept making little mistakes there, not able to really put the pressure on the top 5. Peter Parker in P7. Geese is about to come across the line then in P8. Captain Starlin in that Ferrari will get P9. Jiminel will get P10. And Meerkat will finish in P11. But it's all about this guy here. Joaquin F1 picking up the checker flag. Bubblebart, what a race.
Oh, that was beautiful. It's exactly, as I said before, this is exactly what you would want from a qualifier, for these guys to actually be fighting in the front. Not thinking, okay, I've got this in the bag, just cruise home. Like it's everything you would advise against, but as a commentator, that's exactly what you want. And I guess as a viewer, that's exactly what you want. You want to have these guys take some risk and just go for the overtake, even if it could destroy your whole qualifying position. But yeah, that was awesome.
I'll tell you what, Atho's proper got. Is that oh, no, Wacky's proper gone for the BenQ theme here as well with the purple overalls. Very appreciative of that. But Yakin then will take the win. Then RC Atho will finish in second. Christian Kauer in third for Spain. Popsu from Poland will finish in fourth. Weller 1983 from the United Kingdom will finish in P5. TCE Tia is in P6. Pizza Parker is in seventh. Geese 90 is in eighth. Captain Stalin's in ninth. Jiminel 10th. Meerkat finishes in P11. Absolutely fantastic racing there in the BenQ Challenger Cup. Superb stuff as always, here on the Actrollvision channel. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on this event. We've got our finalists then for 2 weeks' time. We will do an official announcement on social media after if there's maybe some incidents we need to look in. But again, a massive thank you to BenQ for putting this event on. And if you want to go and check out what they have to offer, type #BenQ into the chat. Click the links, go and have a little look, go and buy some monitors. And they are, again, the very best in sim racing equipment. But for you guys who don't know what the competition structure is or what indeed they can win, well, we had some quarterfinals today of 15 drivers each. Top 7 went through from each of those to our semi-finals, which we've just done live on stream. If you have enjoyed it, I want you to put an 8 in the chat, or loads of them, because it's been a very good stream to do. The top 5 from each of those races will advance to our final, which is on October the 12th, and they will race against 4 of the very best pros in the world for Veloce Esports and indeed Williams Esports as well. So those 4 cannot win the prizes. They are there for exhibitional reasons only. So the 10 that you've seen qualify today can win the prizes. And the prizes are as follows. Well, the first position will win a tour around Williams HQ, and that is on behalf of Williams Esports and BenQ. Second will receive a monitor, a EX350-1R, and they'll also receive a souvenir from Veloce Esports. Third will receive a BenQ EX323R curved sim racing monitor, plus a souvenir from Williams Esports. Well,
so that VIP tour, are we also invited for that?
Unfortunately not. We're not quite VIP enough for that, but you know, who knows? Maybe we'll get an invite in the post. You never bloody well know. I want to say a massive thank you to Bart Ramekers as being my co-host. It's been a long time, Bart, but it's a great pleasure to be in the commentary box back with you once again.
Yeah, it's over so soon already. Yeah, I hate that, but I want to say a big thank you to you too. This was great again, and I'd love to be here again for the finals. I'm already looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff. I mean, we've got Baffrage, who said he's been invited to the VIP tour, but I want to say a massive thank you to Baffrage as well. He's helped put this competition on. He's been he's doing all of the behind the scenes while we're indeed enjoying the racing on our screen. And also a massive thank you to the drivers who put on a hell of a show. Even the qualifiers were of a very high level, and especially to you guys in the chat, spamming the 8s, enjoying the content. This has been the BenQ Challenger Cup. Make sure that you do join us again in 13 days, 7 p.m. BST, which will be on a Saturday, where we will have our official final. Make sure you hit the follow on the channel and hit the notifications as on so you do not miss it, because we are back. It's going to be exceptional. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in 13 days. Bye-bye.
Bye.